Good evening and namaskar from New Delhi. I am your host today, myself, Dr. Suchitra Bhattacharya, principal of Manav Rachna International School. I'm an educationist since 20 long years. I'm a columnist and off late using the digital platform as a motivational speaker both on national and international forums. Before I introduce my guest today, I would like to talk about Pinkish. It is an organization. Pinkish is a movement or a dream, an ever growing dream, I can say, which much rippled in the eyes of a 16-year-old child. That is how it started. The foundation aims at supporting women in living life with strength and dignity. It is one of the fastest growing women organizations. We at Pinkishi Foundation are hopeful of converting our dreams of building a better world for females into reality. We believe in positive contribution to the society. In just 15 months, 185,000 women have joined hands for Pinkish. And now I would like to introduce my guest today. I would like to tell you that she is an educationist, a, a vice president. She's the vice president of Sahodaya School Complex, Faridabad, an education philanthropist, I can say, who addresses the nation about the challenges, achievements, and future policies, often seen in News 24 as a guest speaker. Great. An edupreneur and early adopter of change who's often seen building new education strategies, developing the latest edutech tools, bringing unique learning programs. An exemplary education leader, definitely, Ms. Deepika Sharma, who is determined to raise teaching learning standards in India's in fact, bilingual preschool, school, and of course, higher educational institutions. An inclusive education diva, which she can be called, who ensures an inclusive environment online and offline for children who are differently abled. Excellent, ma'am. We are so glad that you could give your time for today's program. What I would like to say is 30 crore women suffer in silence. Menstrual cycle is a huge problem in India. It is not only the subject that is openly discussed, in fact, it's really many people find it as a taboo, even discussing this. Hence, the scale of problem and its developing devastating impacts is actually less known to many of us. As you know, ma'am, we definitely try to see that we have sexual or sex education in school at school levels, but many a times we do not uh, um, address the fact that this is also some portion of sex education, and we definitely need to do this because we have to understand that even now 45% of people are ashamed to talk about themselves. 23% of children quit schools, and out of that 60% of girls are missing school in those days, and 6% of girls, they do not they have not heard about sanitary pads. Ma'am, just wanted your idea, like, do you think we as leaders play a vital role to ensure that this particular aspect is dealt with and dealt with in a serious manner? Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much once again for coming here and giving your time. We will be definitely enriched today with your views. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, and thank you, Suchitra, for having me. It's such a pleasure. I always felt that women being empowered, to talk about their empowerment is one thing. But when we talk about in reality, it is much, much far. At the moment, we are talking about digital divide. Have we forgotten the rural and urban divide? Have we forgotten that the gender inequality? You just spoke about the percentage. The inadequate menstrual hygiene is a global concern. you know. And like you said, how much are we doing it? We are the game changers, the impactors, the influencers, we as leaders. How many of us really are thinking or even implementing? Forget about implementation. The thought itself is very rare, and we hardly see too many people including in this. When you say education being inclusive, I find women more talented. Again, I am not being discriminatory. Of course, both men and women are same, but I find the girls even more talented. But inequality in terms of during these 4 days, they are absent because they cannot bear the pain. They Most of the schools and colleges and places are ill equipped. They're not equipped to take our girls during these days. So I feel it's time, and it's high time that we rise above, like you called it, the word taboo. I'm absolutely I agree with you. It is a taboo. I don't see many people talking about it. Forget about discussion, including women. It's a very hush hush thing. Why is it a hush hush thing when all of us know it's a natural process? Okay, why isn't that why isn't that we take both boys and girls together and talk about it and discuss about it and inform them about what is actually the process and what is needed about it? So I think a great initiative by Pinkish. Great initiative by you, Suchitra, for taking it up. I still feel that, having children and girls about the age of 10 need to really be informed, and they need to, and every place where they go, specifically, if I talk because we belong to the schools industry, we absolutely should ensure that we are equipped to handle it. And there should be no absenteeism. Why should it be an absenteeism for just such a thing? You know? So there is a huge need to inform and reach out. When we sit in Delhi NCR, we are actually catering to a segment which possibly still understands, but there is a larger segment which does not want to understand, does not know, or does not even want to talk about it. So, kudos to the entire Pinkish Foundation for really picking it up and taking and trying to reach out.
It was really very, I would say, very candid and a true picture you've given, ma'am. I mean, it's the truth that we as leaders, we also many a times we miss it out. And
Yes,
the best part of it, what you said was bringing in boys and girls together. I think that's an excellent point that you've taken out. I think in the 21st century now, when we talk of equality, where everyone, a girl and a boy sitting together in the class, they are growing together, then why segregate when it comes to this? I think such progressive thoughts like you, I would say I am the director of this particular project, Saki. I also felt it same. We had number of other principals discussing the same. There were many who accepted the fact that yes, in schools we need to do. Ma'am, if I want to know that in schools, for example, you, me, as you said, Delhi and NCR, if we want to start, how do we try to spread it out? I think we can be the pilot principals to start in school, and then definitely seeing us or seeing what's happening. I think many of them will also start doing it, and it will reach the remote areas. What's your opinion about that?
absolutely. Charity begins at home. Let's first begin with our schools, with the schools in our area. Right now, we are the members of a Sahoday. Why can't those 65 schools take up this campaign or this way of reaching out? And at least every Sahoday, we can reach out to the other Sahodays as well. I think it's a great idea. We need to do this. Like I said, there is a large segment which does not want to know about it, or knows about it but does not want to really act and implement anything on it. I mean, if I were to say, even private schools, though I feel the private schools are doing much better than the government school in terms of hygiene. Hygiene is very important, because there are a lot of problems which arise, medical problems which arise because of the unhygienic conditions, especially during these days. How many of our girls really know about it? How many of our girls really have an access to a better experience at schooling? So I think there is a need to have a better schooling experience for our girls and to reach out, like you said. I mean, when we started our Sahodaya, we asked each principal to talk to another five. We can do that for the same campaign. The thing is, how committed are you to this? I think as women, and in being an education industry which is predominantly women based, okay, I think we understand. So when we take people on the same portal platform, I think we could take it to a larger segment. And I think we should take it to, we could have a project in summers or winter vacations where our children can further do it more. And I think the flip side of pandemic being that we have all gone digital. We're meeting on a digital platform today also. I think we can go really far and we can really make that impact that we really want to. And safeguard the health of the girls, which is really important, you know, and talk about the hygiene, which is missing in a big way.
Oh, wonderful. The great idea that you have shared is like, I mean, as such a important member of the Sahodaya, you felt that we could do it in one go. We could spread the message to so many principals, and that the moment it reaches the principal, it reaches the teachers, and the teachers percolates it to the students. And it's a mass that one principal can address to. That was very good. So I suppose if I mean people like you, we can take a great initiative in ensuring that we ourselves, as you said, it starts from home. We not only do the project in our own school, but also spread it across, that this can be done. That would be really, really good. Another thing that you have mentioned is safeguarding the girls. I mean, that is something which all we have to ensure that yes, we do it. Hygiene part, yes. So I feel we need to teach our children, be it a boy or a girl, we need to ensure that they all know what it is in those 5 to 7 days, how it is to be dealt with, what is to be done, and definitely then it becomes easy for them to address. Ma'am, if I ask you, like, what do you think? Initially, yes, it was when a child is in class 8, that is maybe 12, 13, that is the time when children started their menstrual cycle. Do we need to give the education and prepare the children about their menstrual cycle, those who have not got yet, especially at the same standard as of now? What's your opinion about that?
See, I think for every individual, it begins at a different time. So I think class five or six, maybe I would introduce it in class five in a very different manner. Okay, so class five, when some the children are about 10 years of age, because there are girls who are getting their menstruation at the age of 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So I think that's the time we should introduce it. And it should not be a big taboo or something that is, it is something that a natural process should be made to understand. And what we need from boys, I think why it's really important for boys to understand, one, it is, I mean, see, the kind of world we live in, the access of everything on digital media. So the children are way ahead of what we think. So why not teach them how to have safer sex, for example? you know that education, when you said about sex education, is when they know about this part of the girls month, okay, and that how it is that they can have that it should be safer, how it is not to be treated as somebody who is like untouchable, who is beyond uh, who is not in the purview of being normal or has to be kept out. So I feel, yes, class 5 or 6 should be the class when we should begin, and both boys and girls, as well as um, I think when we introduce them to the products like the sanitary pads, we also need them that it should be high quality and biodegradable, you know, so that the waste disposal is also important. You've seen what has happened with the COVID PPE kits and other things. I
Correct.
mean, so I think all these things need to go together.
Absolutely. So, it is not only to prepare the children that this is a natural phenomena, that is a natural cycle. And since these days, because of the food habits, because of the knowledge that they have, we have seen that there is a trend that, yeah, they start at a little earlier stage. In fact, teens have come down maybe to
Yeah.
10 years or so. So, that is the reason why we need to teach our children at a maybe earlier age, as you said, class 5 6, definitely keeping in mind their age, give that much information which they will be able to take it. Now the
Yeah.
best thing that you have brought out is the disposable. I mean, to teach them how to dispose of the things, because even in branded good schools, children coming from very affluent families, very educated families, we have seen that this is an issue that they are unable to they do not pay much attention to. So I think in that respect, we as educationists, teachers, and principals, we play a vital role in educating our children that not only what should be done before, how to prepare them, and how to handle those days, also how to dispose of the things which are used, so that it does not become a nuisance to us. That's so very well said, ma'am. If I ask you, like, is it possible that it's only the school who will be able to handle? How far do you think parents play a role in the education with school, holding hand in hand? How much would you tell the parents that yes, even they have a responsibility of this?
So, Suchitra, I feel there is a dire need to orient and counsel the parents along with the students. So, what is
Great.
happening at school? We are working with the students, we are counseling them, we are informing them, we're having workshops. But once they go home, it's a totally different story. So, we need to get the parents along. We need to educate the parents as well. So the school's role is now greater than ever, because I feel the children, sometimes when I counsel, I come to know that the children understand what we're trying to say. It's the parents, the parents who are not understanding it, and the parents who are sidelining whatever we've taught in the school gets unlearned at home. So, along with the other things, you need to get the parents together. So, if we introduce, say, for in class six, we need to get the parents together in phases and tell them what is that we want things to come across and how it should be, and that it should not be just for the mother. Again, I would want both the parents to be there in the orientation and the education part.
That is so beautiful. I mean, that's really wow. That we teach both boys and girls together, and at the same time, involvement of the parents is required. There again, you have insisted that it is both the parents should be part of it, so that the father also understands the inner depth of this 7 days cycle, where even the mother is involved and the daughter is involved. Wonderful. I think such progressive thoughts that we are having these days, that involvement of parents. Of course, we all know that a child centric education is only and only possible when both the school and the parents hold hand together, and child is the center of attraction, and the child is kept in the center, only then the triangle is complete. And as per your thought process, I think even such cases and such topics, we need to ensure that both the parents are there. That is really, I'm sure, if we all start doing it, there will be definitely some change. Of course, progressive schools may be doing it, but that is not only that will not solve the issue, because it's not only one organization like Pinkish or some government organization or non-government organization, a few schools cannot do it. We all need to hold hands together and do it ourselves and spread it out. That's beautiful. If I ask you, like, for you and me, yes, we have parents who are mostly educated and they come to us, so it's easy for us. How do we reach out? In fact, yours and mine responsibility as an education is not only those 2,000 or 3,000 children in our schools. We hold a bigger responsibility. So how, as per your idea, how you and me, if I'm because we are both are talking at the round table discussion today. I mean, people like you and me who are concerned, what role can we play, and how can we play this role to reach out to those remote area schools, those underdeveloped schools, those children who are just not using digital mode? How do we reach? What can be done by us as a person who's leading the program? How do we reach out to them?
I think the two main factors, who will do it and how will we do it? Well, who does it? Let's enroll our girls, let's enroll our boys,
Wow.
and along with the teachers, let's have summer programs, let's have winter programs. When they have, let's because with NEP come rolling in, let the colleges who want portfolios, why can't we certify our children and motivate them to do this? Now how do we do them? Where does it come? Everything needs finances. That's where the corporates come in. We I would want that corporates should sponsor, and the children should reach out and hold small meetings with boys and girls in the small villages and various areas. Now the children could be motivated by their teachers, they could be certified, they could be awarded for their effort. And the corporates, well, we have a lot of CSR activities, this could be the activity. So all we need to do is laser and get the things together, because this is something, almost 30 to 45%, you were giving one percentage. The girls are suffering with some kind of ailment due to the hygiene or problem due to this, you know and it's a global concern, because 88% of the girls have problems due to the unhygienic things around. Okay, so I mean, this is a when you say it's a global concern, and even if we start from school, it has to go sometime. We have to involve a whole lot of us. Okay, we need to hold hands, like you said. Well, you have when you have the parents in your confidence, you can get the children to do it. You can involve your parents. You can involve a lot of other associations who feel for the entire thing. you know so I think that's the way to go.
I
Find,
mean,
identify
great
who will do
ideas.
it. Yeah, and how will you get through it?
Great ideas. I mean, we involve children in so many project works, and as said, CBSE wants us to have this experiential learning. So rather than bookish knowledge, involving them in such work, giving them some role, selecting a few students, and then maybe spreading the message to a greater group and giving them as summer projects, winter projects. I think that's an excellent way of involving students for such a positive project, and of course
Yeah.
dealing with such a delicate issue. So why girls, you want to say that even boys can be part of the same project?
Oh
And
yes.
yes, yeah, and at the end of the day, certification, awarding students, and of course making portfolios is an excellent way of involving the children. They themselves can spread it out. So that was beautifully said, and I'm sure all those who are listening to us are getting great ideas, and definitely many of them must be promising that yes, they also should start from their own side. Great. I think if we all start in our own area, it will be spreading. And as said, small little groups can be made so that they can travel. Organizations like Pinkish, or as you said, corporate, with corporate help, I think we can do a great deal. So, do you think that it should be part of the curriculum also in some way or the other, or do we do it as an external activity project based learning only? What is your opinion about that?
So, I think one way when we talk about sex education, this could be part of that. And then, I just said earlier, it could be the project. We can do it both ways. So you are not only creating a group which is motivated and well informed, you are also, in fact, net creating a network of people who will further want to influence and take the information forward. So you need to take this simultaneously. You need to create one group. Like we have various clubs. Why can't we have this a club? Like we have a disaster management club, for example. That's not like a regular club of art and craft and language and other things. So we could have a one on this, which talks about uh, sexual education and what has it been. And I think, with the kind of there is this inequality in our country, especially North India, where there are more boys than girls, the gender inequality in numbers. And we find more and more girls being raped. So all those things can be taken under this purview. So once we form a group which is well informed and which is taking it further, it's going to do right. So you have to take this. I think school would possibly be much more than just cramming and just doing a bit of ABCD and the 3 R's that we have been doing: reading, writing, arithmetic. Because this is the education and this is the need of the hour. We just have to move on.
Mm. So well said, Nia. You've given excellent ideas. I mean, having, I mean, clubs of this sort where we are having disaster management clubs and other clubs, and having clubs or maybe leaders when we choose in the investiture ceremony, maybe someone giving a responsibility of that. I think that is the way we can make it even more open so that everyone comes forward. And once it's open to all, people start become comfortable. I think that is the time it gets easier to spread out. I think that is really very well dealt with. And yes, as you have pointed out, I think the moment it comes to curriculum, there we go in rote learning where certain points will have to be learned by heart and then given the answer, rather than making it disinteresting, or rather than trying to put it in the form of marks as such. We can do it in projects and other portfolio for, as you said, maintaining a portfolio. That's going to be, I think, beautiful the way we plan. Wonderful insights given. And as you've said, those children who are especially in states where the male members are in majority, I think that is the place where even it's more important for us to ensure
Yes.
that parents and the society gets to know how much. Of course, one portion you've said that society, in the sense community, plays where CSR activities can be taken place. How else can the community or the surroundings play a role in this? Because we have seen many a times maybe the child is comfortably at home, however the moment the child goes outside, he becomes even more. In fact, how about children who are more interested in sports? How do they deal in that? Because that's a place where they need more of physical activities. So, do you think that this particular span of every month affects the children, why especially girls who are into big sports activities and doing very well in sports?
Well, I have spoken to a lot of them, and the survey itself will tell you that a lot of girls, maybe there would be exceptions, of course, where they need to stop because they can't go, it's because of the pain. This is what I'm saying. We need to be more equipped. If it is something which gives you a relief from pain, why not have it? Okay. And I don't think any point of time the girls need to be absent from their practice in sports or at school. When you're talking about equality, you got to put that in. You need to equip them, like I said, every place. So when in school we talk about infirmary, we talk about nurse, we talk about a psychologist, we talk about a mother teacher, we talk about proper restrooms, changing rooms. We talk about bins where disposable things are to be thrown. We talk about soaps. We talk about uh, having vending machines which give the sanitary pads.
Great.
Okay.
I was just
So,
about to come to that point. Great,
yeah,
great
yeah.
point you have taken out. Yes, ma'am. We would like to listen to that a little more.
So we need to equip all our girls that way. So when you say they go for sports or they go for any practice, in case it pains, because most of us have felt that pain sometime or the other, well, then they need to have the pain relievers. They, like I said, you need to have the doctor or they need to have it there, and the schools or the institutions wherever they are should be equipped with it you know and they should be helping the girls. So I don't think it should stop them, because um, if it is going to stop you from the 5 days or 4 days of every month, that's a gap.
That's a
we
huge gap.
we don't, yeah, we don't need to have that gap. We don't need to have gap. We need to talk to our doctors. We need to do what is the best thing for us you know So I don't see it, and I've also seen girls doing horse riding with or without this, and it doesn't matter whether they're having menstruation or not. I've seen the girls being athletes and going for it. So I think sports is anyway a different topic to talk about. I'm very enthusiastic about it, so you just got me very excited. But I've seen people who are into sports are tougher and do better. So I don't think these days would stop them from anything. I mean, if let's talk about all the girls doing so well in Olympics. Do you think they wouldn't have had one of those days? Some of them would have had, but didn't stop
Very
them
true.
from doing what they did.
Very true.
So
Very true.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just want
So,
that. Yeah, I
so
just think
I
that they
feel
should be equipped.
yeah. So we feel that yes, if parents are understanding and if the coaches are a little compassionate, schools are understanding again, giving them those moments of rest if required, I think it's going to be, I mean, no problem at all. So well said that a horse rider, if she loses 5 days and into so many months, she is developing. I mean, definitely going for a huge gap. Why give this chance? So no
Yeah.
gaps, and therefore maybe the coaches need to understand a little if the child is having some pain, maybe for some easier shots or easier steps for those 2 days if required, and that too only if medical requirement is there. No psychological requirement at all is required. So that's been really very well said, and I'm sure we have given a wonderful message to all those who have listened to us. If you could just, I mean, give, for example, we'll wait if there is any question. We were seeing good comments. People are enjoying our discussion. However, questions we have not got yet. Uh, you might tell us, Mr. Piyush, if there is any question in. Otherwise, I would ask ma'am to give a total round, a conclusion, if you can give us about this particular discussion today, what our role is, and how we can just a winding up of the whole all the points that you have mentioned. It is really, you've given you it was an eye opener the way you have said we can have club activities, we can go into CSR helps, we can go into certification, and of course the best and the most important, which today's generation is very particular about, is building a portfolio, making a portfolio for them. Because these days we've seen in the entrance of the schools and colleges, higher education, I mean, that portfolio plays a vital role, and especially this COVID situation, because of this year where people could not go in for admission tests, and this is something
Yeah.
which really pays, which was of course there for foreign universities. I think we in India also started it. So that's a huge attraction that you have pointed out. If you could just give us a round, I mean, circle all the points, and if you could just tell us a few sentences uh, uh, on on the role that you and me play, the role that parents play, and the role the society plays.
See, all of us, being especially, I'll start with a women parent. We need to ensure that the our girls get every grooming and are as well informed as they should be. As edu leaders, I feel we need to empower them by ensuring that they have access and they're equipped and they get on with their life the way any other child is doing it. There should be no discrimination, and we need to carry the parents along with us. The school has a greater responsibility. You and me have a greater responsibility because we need to actually go to their houses to ensure that what we have taught does not get unlearned at home. And we need to have our institutions equipped, and we need to have the boys around us also well informed, also ensuring that they together with the girls know that this is a natural process and we need to just take it as that, you know, and nothing more. So it's time that all women take it and get informed. And I still would like to emphasize hygiene is the crux of the entire thing. I know absenteeism and preparedness of schools is very important, but hygiene is very, very important because it leads to a lot of medical conditions and which possibly would hamper a lot of their lifestyle later. So, hygiene together with complete information, school, home, friends, teachers, everybody together, parents play a very important role. We all come together, and the platform is school. We can do lots.
Great. That was beautifully. I mean, you winded up the whole thing beautifully. And as much as I can take is there's a question, ma'am, from Tina Gupta. I'll just read it out. In many places, a festival is celebrated on the onset of menstruation, while in some places, many restrictions are imposed on girls. After menstruation and during this time, parents stop going to school, citing the safety of their daughters. Why is there such a dual mentality even after being in our country? How we can change the mindset of such people? If you could just highlight. Of course, it's
So,
you've
Tina,
said everything.
Tina, you're absolutely right. Like you said, somewhere it is celebrated. The other places, which I would say most of the areas, it is a taboo. It is something that you should not even talk about. Well, I don't think that's just my and Suchitra. We both feel as edu leaders, we would want to get the parents to school. This mindset has come for a long, long time, and maybe in it's time that we get out of it, and that is the whole idea of this foundation. We need to reach out to the people. We need to tell them that this is something which is going to go on and has been there for ages. So there is nothing to be absolutely ashamed or quiet or feel that it is something that we can't talk about. It is something that we should go take it naturally and go ahead with the life. There is nothing that should stop girls from doing what they want to. So the you're talking about a mindset. A mindset can only be changed when all the women, especially the ones who are educated, go ahead and live it as naturally and take it further. Engage with others and tell them that it is nothing but a natural process, and you need to go ahead. Mindset
I
would
think
not change over a period of time, you know it, but it'll slowly, it would, like I think Delhi NCR you would still find again, or major metropolis you would still find a lot of people who are okay. We need to go and change it. We need to have more such programs.
very, very correctly said. Like the other day, I was in a discussion where on the book, Bill Gates written the book on climatic change. There he has mentioned that it is not only the rich who should be taking care of their comforts. You know, we all need to contribute, because tomorrow, if the world is having the climate change, if the global warming is affecting the world, it's not only the poor who's going to suffer, it's all of us who are going to do it. Similarly, here mindset has changed to some extent, as you have mentioned,
Yes.
in the civil in the more metropolitan cities and big cities. But then that has to go on, and it should spread across, so that each girl is saved, each girl is happy even in those 7 days. Each girl is ensured that she doesn't miss out on anything just because she's a girl and she's
Yeah.
got her menstrual cycle. Another thing which every moment from the beginning till the end you have emphasized is the hygiene portion. And I
Yeah.
think as school, school leaders, we play a vital role, as you've said, getting involved, the parents involved in this procedure. I think we need to teach. And if we in schools have the vending machines, if we can provide and make a disposable vending machine, especially so that children also know how the hygiene is to be maintained. And those few days, what are the care, how should a child take care, instead of like we see in poor places people use the clothes. If that is there, it should be whether it should be washed or how it should be handled. All these things we need to teach our generation, present generation. And I think we also should be making, I mean, organization should ensure that the sanitary napkins are available at affordable cost, so that everyone can use it. That was a great,
And
great
it's
discussion.
biodegradable. That's important.
Absolutely. Very
Hmm.
important. Very, very
Hmm.
important. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because disposing of, again, should be what is after that. That is something we need
Hmm.
to take care of. So that
Hmm.
was a wonderful discussion, Deepika. It was great. And I'm sure, okay, we have another question from Anjali Jain. Healthcare facilities in most of the schools are very poor. We can hardly find one bed which is used for every purpose. They hardly fulfill the mandatory requirement of healthcare, and that too on papers only. And if we talk about menstruation, we need proper facilities. What are your views on the issue? There's a question from Anjali Jain. Would you like to give
Yeah,
an
yeah.
answer to that?
Actually, I have been talking right from the beginning that the schools and institutions need to be properly equipped, okay, for us to have, for to do. I know there are schools which do not have it, but then it's time they did. They need to understand it, that the hygiene is something that should be, like I said, the beds, you're talking about one bed. I don't know if one bed is enough or not. Even if it's one bed, is that clean is more important. Having toilets, having proper water system in toilets, the water should be there, the soaps should be there, the bins should be covered, the disposable system should be in place. So I am not just talking about beds. Yes, the condition is sordid. I absolutely agree with you that there are places which do not, but then I am talking about it, that it should be there. If they don't have it, the girls suffer, and we don't want that. We want to take it further. I mean, if you are a parent, why can't you take this up with your management? We're talking about cleanliness, we're talking about hygiene. So even if there's one bed, but it is changed, the bed sheets are changed on a regular basis, what is wrong with that? That is okay. If the toilets are there, the toilets should have proper water and other things. So the toilet should be cleaned. So this is something which all of us will have to take. The idea of just talking about it is not enough. I like said, for me, the charity begins at home. I'm going to ensure that my school and the schools in my area follow it. So you as a parent or you as a student should put it up with your management and get few things done. So the initiatives need to be taken.
So, very true, very true. In fact, I mean, we are lucky that both of us are working in the a little high-end schools. There are many schools, in fact, these days. They ensure that there is definitely a room where not one, but at least, yeah, many schools has, may have one. But then there are schools where they have beds. We can't definitely have beds like hospitals, but yes, we do. And most importantly, Deepika, as you said, keep one bed or two bed really
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It is the cleanliness that matters. If we can keep the beds changed and ensure that yes, children, and moreover, we when the child is unwell, we need to speak to the parents. We need to ensure that the child feels comfortable if she wants to go home, because if she is wanting to come in the sick bay, that means she's not feeling well. So in that case, parents might be called and they can come and pick up the child, because that particular moment she's unable to take the class. So such things, and moreover, as you said, cleanliness, even at home, a child has to be taught that just because no one is watching you in the washroom, you cannot throw your used sanitary napkin just like that, and making the next child coming inside the washroom feeling dirty. So even at
Yes.
home and in school, we need to teach the children that it needs to be properly wrapped or dispensed properly, so that the person who's cleaning the washroom also doesn't feel dirty about it. I'm sure you the question answer that yeah, Mr. Jain got it. She should be satisfied. However, just to give in a conclusion bite, I would say that menstrual cycle, yes, still remains a topic to be addressed openly, even in the 21st century. And I feel such discussions as we are doing, this is mine itself is a second discussion, and we have involved nearly 5 6 principles as of now. There were many discussions before me also. What our request is, both Deepika also expressed this, let us not only discuss and wind up, let us put into practice. And each one of us, rather than blaming the third person,
Hmm.
I think each one of us play our own role to ensure that my child at home and in school is learning what is to be done, is well prepared to deal with the menstrual cycle days. The institutions like any athletic institutions where people go in for physical activity, they also are to be equipped, and we all together work out in such a manner the next generation, those tiny girls who are a victim, I would say, at a tender age, are well prepared, and they take it not as a punishment like primitive days we used to have. Someone has pointed out that yes, we were not allowed to enter the kitchen or touch something because it might get spoiled. These are all myth. We need to remove those mindset and equip our girls, equip our boys, equip our parents and the society and community together to ensure that it does not remain a taboo. It is just a physical change, like the change of voice of a boy or getting a beard for a boy child. It is just like that. So that was great. And I think, thank you so much once again. So beautifully, you have pointed out the measures that we can take. And I'm sure all our viewers have got good takeaway today after our discussion. Thank you so much, Deepika, once again, and it was lovely interacting with you. I would like to thank